everybody. How you doing? Hope you're okay. How did you get on with all those 3D shape hunting and map making and tallying? Oh, lots of different skills that you've been learning. I've seen some wonderful work. I've had some wonderful work come back from Lanny and Ife and Vida. Some fantastic things, and some others of you as well from Willow class, and it's really lovely to see the work that you're doing and seeing how hard you're working at home. Well done, and well done mums and dads too. You really are helping your children to learn at such a difficult time. Well, I hope you got on with your maps. I hope you enjoyed making a map, maybe hiding something and getting someone in your family to find it. I loved finding that ice cream. Oh, do you know, I can still remember it now. It tasted so good. Anyway, Mrs. Bowen, focus on what we're doing today, because we're doing maps again today, but in a slightly different way. But before we do that, I thought we'd just do a little bit of mental math work to get us all warmed up and get those brains working. So if you've got your glasses, get them at the ready. I've got mine, here we go. Because today I am going to wear them because I'm not going outside, and we've also got to look at some numbers and things, so I need them. Okie dokie, let's let that magic begin. Oh, here we go, lovely. Right, well, I thought we would start off with a little bit of tally. So I'm going to write down on my plain pieces of paper some tally patterns, and you've got to say on your side of the camera what that number is. You can tell you're grown up, or you can shout it to me so that I might be able to hear. But let's see how good you are at identifying those tally patterns. Are you ready? Here we go. First one. What do you think that is? Did you say 5 and 1 more? That makes 6. Yeah, you're right. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. What number's that? Did you say 10? Yeah, you're right. 2 lots of 5. Here we go. Here's another one. Here we go. This one, we could actually count in 5s. 5, 10, 15. 3 lots of 5 makes 15. Here's the next one. Oh, Mrs. Bowen did that one wrong. You don't do 6 like that, do you? Try that one. 5 and 3 more makes, do it together, 5, 6, 7, 8, isn't it? One more. What's that one? Did you get 20? 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, big number. Can you hear it when I do it? Because I think our brains get used to the way you can hear it. So listen to 5 again. So what could that one be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, and one more. 15, 16. You've got it. And the very, very, very last one. Tricked you. Easy peasy one. 3 little sticks is 3. Easy peasy. Did you do good? Hope you did. Now, got my red tray. Let the book lie down there. Got my red tray here. Let's have a little go at subitizing. So remember, subitizing is letting your brain and your eyes work together. You might see some beans, you might see some counters, you might see some dots, but it's letting your brain see those things and think, ah, yeah, 4, 3, 2, 10. You get so good at it. Are you ready? Here we go then. Here's the first one. Say what you see. Get that? Here we go, they are going to fall off a bit today. Say what you see. Next one. Say what you see. 2 lots of 3. Say what you see. Did you get that? Next one. 2 lots of 4. Say what you see. Yeah, 2 lots of 4 is... Oh, I can hear you. You're working hard. It's 8, isn't it? What's that one? 2 lots of 5 makes... It does, it makes 10. Well done. And while we're on to 2 lots of things, let's just do some quick doubles. Double 1. Double 3. Double 4. What does double 5 make? Double 2. Double 10. Can't show you my toes if I could. Double 10 makes 20. It does, well done. Oh, those brains are working well this morning, and that's a good job because we're going to be learning something today called grid references. Whoa, that's a big word, isn't it? 2 big words, grid referencing. And if you look at the map that those pesky robbers, Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len, made, you will notice that their map is made up of lots and lots and lots of little squares, and that is called a grid. And that's so that although we were following the arrows, if we had to look really carefully for something in this grid, like that fish, we might need to know that that fish is sitting in one of those squares just there. And the way that you find where that fish is you look up and you look across, and the very square that it's sitting in there is the exact place on the grid, and it's called grid referencing. And once you get used to doing it, it's actually quite easy. And today I'm going to show you how you can make a game with the characters from the story, and then you can play your own grid game with your mum or your dad or your brother or your sister or somebody in your house. Okay, so this then, grown-ups, is why you needed these sheets that I sent you. If you've got a printer, you might want to print this one out, because this is the characters. Well, they're a little bit like the characters in the story. They're not exactly the same, but they are the exact animals and people. All right, so this is supposed to be Lanky Len and Hefty Hugh, but they don't quite look the same, do they? But they are the robbers, and there's the prize cow and the farmer and all the characters in the story. So if you've got a printer, you might want to print that one out. If you haven't got a printer, I did send this one as well. Now, you can still print this one out if you want to, but if you haven't got a printer, you might want to just look at it, and you might want to try and copy them. So these are quite simple ways of drawing the characters in the story. So you've got both things there. Now, the reason why I sent you those is because we're going to make our own grid. So let's get those off first, and then you can see Mrs. Bowen's drawn a bit of a grid. Now, I've been a bit naughty and I've done it without a ruler because I've done it quickly, but you might have a ruler, or you might have something like a cereal box that you can use to just draw a straight line against it. Put it there, look, and make your straight line. But I've done this really quick so I can just show you. So this is my grid, and we can count together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares going across. Okay, now that's because we are going to write some numbers in here and some letters at the bottom. Right, so here we go. Put it up there. I'm going to put down the side, I'm going to put number 1, 2, 3, what comes next? 4, yes it does, 5 and 6, just there. All right, I think I've done that right. No, I don't need to do 6 actually. I've just realised you leave that one blank in the corner. You don't want to put anything there. So we don't need 6. You do need 6 boxes, grown-ups, but you don't write 6 in the bottom. Leave that space free there. Okay. Then in this box here, we're going to put a. We'll do little lowercase so that you guys can read them. A, what comes after a? B, k, d, e, and we could do the last one like that. There we go. There's all our letter sounds as well. So this is where I'm going to teach you. This is the hard bit, but you will get better at it. So we start with number 1. Here's number 1. So all the squares along here are called 1 because that's the 1 line. That whole line that goes across there, everything there is 1, but it has to be 1 something, and you look at the letter underneath to know which one it is. So it's 1, this square is 1 A, because if you go all the way up from A, that square there is 1 A. This square here is 1 B, because this is the B line going up. Everything in that line is B, but it's a different number. If we go all the way up to the top, it's B1 or 1B. So this one is 1. Yeah, go across, 1. This one is 1 D. This is the D line, 1 D. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to put our characters in these squares. So, I'm going to make it a bit easier, and I'm going to cut my pictures up because they're already in little squares already. Let's get those robbers in the story, shall we? And the ladybird. I'm going to have the ladybird, and I'm going to have one more animal. I'm going to have the duck. Right. Little blob of blue tack. So, in goes Lanky Len. There goes Lanky Len. In goes the duck. In goes, these are a bit big, so you might want to cut them smaller to fit your grid. In goes Hefty Hugh, and in goes the ladybird. And the ladybird's listening to everything, isn't she? In goes the ladybird. Right, there we go. So, all I want you to do is look at my grid and help me to understand where these characters are sitting on my grid. Let's have a look and see if we can work it out together. So we're going to use the numbers first. So, are there any characters in the 1 line? No, there aren't, are there? But are there any characters in the 2 line? Oh, yes. There is, look, there's one there. So we've got the ladybird, she's on the 2 line. And then we have to go down to see what letter sound she's sitting on. Just put that there so you can see it. So she's 2 all the way down to D, isn't she? So we can say that the ladybird is at 2 D on the grid. There she is. Okay. Now, Let's try Lanky Len. So, where's Lanky Len? What line is he on up here? What number? He's on 3, isn't he? So if we go to 3, we can see Lanky Len. But then remember, children, we need to go down. So Lanky Len is at 3, going down. B, isn't he? 3B or 3B is Lanky Len. Right. Are there any characters on line 4? In these boxes, are there any characters? No. So there's nobody in line 4. But what about line 5? Ooh. Ooh, line 5's getting busy, isn't it? We've got 2 characters. Let's start with Hefty Hugh. 5. So here he is, and we'll just go down a tiny bit and look at A. So in square, 5A is Hefty Hugh. And if we go along here, it's still 5 all the way along. 5 just down. 5E is the duck. Okay. So this is all you're going to do today. You're going to try and make your own grid, and you're going to move the characters around so that you can start to practice where they are sitting, and you're learning how to read a grid map, really. So now I've just moved Lanky Len to 4B, haven't I? I wonder if you can just see on my grid where Hefty Hugh is going to go if I put him in 3. Can maybe you move your finger to where 3 is? Find the 3. Go all the way across to here. And then you will see it's the line, isn't it? 3. Okay. That's what you do. Now, for the last part of our little lesson today, I'm just going to show you something else, and this is the part of the game that you can play with somebody in your house. You need a screen. Now I've just made a screen out of just 2 cereal boxes, and you see inside them, I've turned them inside out. My little tip that I gave us the other day. Turn them inside out so it's made a screen. 2 cereal boxes together. Now, if you make, put those there, put that there like that. If you make a grid for you, your grown-ups can help you do this, a grid for you and a grid for your grown-up, or a grid for your sister or your brother, you can play a special game together. And what you do is you put your characters on here, and they have some characters as well, and you have to guess where those characters are. So it's a little bit complicated, but your grown-up might be able to help you. And you have all your characters on your board. You put them all on your grid. Make them fit if you can into your boxes. And then you take it in turns with the person you're playing with to see if you can capture their characters. So you say, right, have you got something in box 2B? And they will look on their grid and they'll say, yes, I've got one of the cats. And then you have to give them that cat. Yes? Then they will ask you a question, and then you will ask them a question. And sometimes you will have an empty box. There'll be nothing in it. Like I've showed you before, there'll be an empty box, there'll be nothing in it. And then you can laugh at them and say, aha, no, there's nothing in that one. So you don't get to win that duck. or you don't get to win the prize cow. Where's the prize cow? Maybe you could make up in your game that if somebody manages to win the prize cow, maybe they do get a prize. Maybe they get a biscuit or something if they can guess where the prize cow is. So I hope you can understand that game, grown-ups. It's a little bit like if you used to play battleships when you were little. I did. I used to play that with my daddy. But it's very much like battleships, but we're playing it with the animals and the characters from the story, and it's helping the children learn about grid references. Okay, so I'm going to put that up there. It's nothing to worry about. It's just a little bit of fun. It's just another little fun way of learning our magic maths. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you do manage to make your grids, and I hope you do manage to try and have a game with your grown-up or your brothers and your sisters. Okay, and I would love to see your photographs of you trying, or your videos. Maybe you get so good at it. I could imagine Fideo getting quite good at this game. I just could, actually. Bit competitive. You like a good game, don't you, Fideo? So, have a good try, and I will see you very, very soon. And we'll get on to different kinds of maths soon, because I think very soon we're going to be doing a different story, aren't we? We might have one more week of Ladybird, and then we're moving on to other things instead. We're doing more measurement and things. So have fun, everybody, with your maps and your grids, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.